All right, now that we're at this point, we've basically modified and put everything that was an outline of the file that we got from Martin that was in 3 dimensions. If we turn the body on, you can see what I'm talking about here. However, what we want to do is save this as a DXF file that we're going to import and then start modification. So what we do is we go here and we save as DXF, and I'm going to call this something like flight control DXF. We're saving it as DXF, and I'm putting this on my desktop. At this point, we're done here. We can come out of this. We're going to create a sketch. Create sketch, and I want to put it on this plane. Now that we're looking at it, the idea is we do insert DXF. We have to select the file, and this has basically got everything that we took out of Martin's diagram there into 2 dimensions, and there it is. And there we go. Okay, now we've got the sketch that's basically imported from the DXF file that we created from Martin's stuff. Now, one of the things that we need to do is create some other things in our sketch here. So we can go in, tell it to edit sketch. One of the things that we're going to need to create can be found right here. This is the screw inserts, basically, and it gives us all the dimensions here. The nominal, which is what we're going to create our holes for, and you can see all the decent things about this, like L here in this particular case is going to be 0.125, so that tells us how deep this particular thing needs to be. So the best way to do that, let's go over here. We're going to do a create, and we're going to draw this out to the right diameter, and that was 0.156 on the diameter. And that's really about all we need on this. We can use over and over again, and it's going to have a specific depth. Now the other thing, let's go in here, we'll get rid of the 156. All right, now the next thing is a kind of a key-shaped pocket that is used to take the backlight, the LED or the lamp plus the dropping resistor, and put that in the light plate. So it's basically a combination of a couple of circuits. So let's go down in here. Let's do create. Let's create a circuit here. This needs to be 0.2, loses the 0.255. There we have that. Okay, we need another circle, so let's come over here and we'll just tell it it needs to be, wow, my mouse is just going all over the place. So it needs to be 0.1. There we go. Now the other thing we want to do is tell this and this that their constraint is, whoops, let's do this again. We're going to be vertical from each other, these two items. There we go. Now they're vertical from each other. The next thing we want to do is a dimension and say the distance between these two is 0.250. And now we need to put a rectangle between these two to get these to be the right size. So that's what we're going to do now. So let's go over here and we'll do roughly something like this. It's like that. Okay, we're looking good there. So we need these to all be tangent. So let's see if we can do that. Select tangent, this particular circle, and there we go, that. And this is also needing to be tangent. And so now we have these. And then we want this edge here. You notice how it's coming down here. So I believe we want to just bring this down also. Nope. We want to bring this down to be, there we go. All right, so now you can see if we scan back out here, we've actually created this. We've got a lot of extra stuff coming down here. Let's do one other. Let's see if we can tell it this needs to be in conjunction with that. So now you can see at this point we have our keystroke here. However, we really don't need all of these elements in here, so we go in and we can do trim. We do that. We don't need that nor this part going across. That's fine. The next thing is this part we don't need. We only need what you see there. So at this point we're going to do finish sketch, and because we're not on top of any of the existing items as you see over here, we're going to come back in this thing and we're going to go in and tell it that we want to set the orbit center in here. And let's do our sketch again of this item. Edit sketch. Let's put a dot right in here. So we're going to go in and create a point right there, and that'll help us do some things. So let's go in out of there. All right, now let's go back to where we were going. We need to go in and tell this thing that the orbit center for this thing is right in here. In order to do that, we have to select all the elements of this and then tell it set the orbit center on this. It doesn't jump to it for some reason. I'm not sure why, but at least we know where that center is. That's good enough. And now we know where that particular thing is located. Oh, I know what I have to do. I was out of sketch. That's right, because I was setting the orbit thing. All right. So once again, let's try this again. And we're going to do a move and copy. You can see there's the rotation spot. Now we can do a copy. And for example, we can say, all right, we need another one of these keystroke things. But in this particular case, we want it at 180 degrees from what the other one was. We say OK. And you can see there that we've sketched two of these particular items. One with the north-facing keystroke part. This is where the dropping resistor goes, and here's where the LED goes. And we've got another one that's 180 degrees from that. We can go in and tell it, hey, you know, these things, we don't need to see these in the drawings, like these dimensions here and here. I think this one's got the same thing here. And so now we're pretty much back to what we want to drag around. And we can drag these things, these keystrokes and these screw insert items, and put it on our light plate here and start positioning them wherever we need these. And of course I can look down here and I can see this shows me on a real light plate that these dots are roughly where I need to put these keystroke items, and then the screw inserts I'll just put in rows across and down the side and a few other places so that we can screw the printed circuit board into this thing when it's time to do that. So making good progress here, and that's good for right now.